Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about traveling, and traveling not just any kind, but on your own, solo travel. So I want to give you guys my tips, tricks, hints, things that I'm splurging on, things that I'm doing for myself for my upcoming trip that is going to be solo to Disney World. So if you guys want to see all that, get some tips, tricks, and maybe you figure out a way for you to travel solo, then just keep watching. Alright, so like I said, today is going to be all about solo travel and traveling by yourself, tips, tricks, all kinds of stuff. Now, I am going to be in Disney World for 12 days. Now, not all 12 days are going to be on my own. So, first day that I get there will be on my own. There will be 2 days kind of in between trips that I'll be on my own. And then I'm traveling home by myself. So, I'm actually going for 2 different trips. And the one trip is a girls' trip with 2 of my really close friends, and then the other half is a Castle Explorers agency travel agent retreat. I'm just going to call it the Castle Explorers retreat. But the girls' trip is the 4th through the 8th, and then the Castle Explorers trip is the 10th through the 14th, and then I come home. So I'm flying in on the 3rd of November. I just found better airfare with all of that, and so I wanted to share with you guys just some of the things that I'm doing that's going to make my trip that much smoother and easier and more relaxing, but also some things that I've learned over taking solo trips that I have throughout the years. So the first thing that I want to really mention is part of why I'm comfortable doing Disney is because Disney is so safe oriented. They are so family oriented. They have a ton of security, and I've done a solo trip there to Disney before, so that's why I was really comfortable doing it again. When I was planning my very first solo trip, I did all kinds of research over like what's safe, what's not, like what I need to look out for. And I mean, and just because I say it's safe doesn't mean like you can't take reasonable safety precautions, but I didn't feel like I had to look over my shoulder every 5 minutes. So what I would recommend, my first tip would be stay on property. Biggest reason is because you've got access to the Disney security, everything at Disney. You don't really need to have like a rental car or to worry about like Ubering or Lyfting or anything like that if you don't want to. The other option that they have on property are the minivans, and that is through the Lyft app, but they're technically Disney cast members. So I've done it solo before, and I felt completely safe with them just because, again, they're cast members. It's not an independent contractor that you don't know, and I didn't feel like I was going to get like kidnapped or anything like that. So that would be one of them. The other thing is just with staying on property, there is so much more convenience and accessibility to the things that you might want to do, because as a solo traveler, if you want to come and go from the parks, you can come and go as much as you want. You're not tied down to any set plan. Or if you want to do dining and do it in different places, you're not tied down to set times that work with different size families and stuff like that. So it's really whatever you feel like doing is kind of the rule. Now, I did make some solo dining reservations. I am doing Cape May, I'm doing Boma, I think I'm doing Sanaa. I think that's all that I made for myself because I'm definitely doing an Epcot day, and I know I'm going to eat to my heart's content at Epcot. Now, I've never had an issue either dining solo. I've done table service and I've done buffet table service, and both of them have been super smooth. So whenever, you dine by yourself, obviously if it is a restaurant where they bring you the food, not a big deal. As for the buffets, I always talk to my server, and this is tip number 2 for you if you want to travel by yourself or go to Disney by yourself. If you want to do a buffet, don't let being by yourself stop you. So what I did was I let the server, my waiter or waitress, know that I was on my own, and they have basically told me like, if you put your napkin on your seat, I'll know that you're still there, but if you leave your napkin on the table, I know that like you either paid your check and you've gone or something like that. Now, that's not everywhere. I've been to different buffets where they do different things. That was at Chef Mickey's. So whenever you're there, always ask whoever is there for you, like, okay, how will you know, or what can we do that you know that I'm coming back, that I haven't just left. And that way then it saves the confusion, and you know, you can enjoy your time without feeling like, okay, are they gonna, if I want more food or if I want to go get dessert, are they gonna clear off my table and get rid of all my stuff? Work with your servers. They will help you out with that. The other thing too is I found that for one person, it's a lot easier to get different dining reservations because you're one person. A lot of times whenever they're working with sections and trying to navigate reservations and stuff like that, there are those teeny tiny little 2-person tables that a lot of people don't like, where they don't fit more than 2 people comfortably. You can get those for yourself, and for one person, that's plenty of room. Another thing to do, and this is something, again, this is kind of like a general safety thing. I always am texting Greg whenever I'm solo traveling, telling him where I'm at, what's going on, because if something, heaven forbid, would happen, he has got a starting place. The other thing too is it also acts as kind of like a memory maker of sorts for you, because I'm always sending him pictures of like what rides I'm going on and things like that. And so it kind of stands twofold. So what it does is it, on one hand, will help keep, you know, whoever your check-in point is, know that you're okay and that everything is fine, but it also has some great memories for you. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is kind of some of the little extras I'm doing for myself. Again, because I'm traveling on my own, this is just going to make my trip more convenient, smoother, relaxing, whatever you want to call it. Now, one of the things that I did do, and this is kind of tip number 3, is when I booked my airfare, I actually booked economy. I'm flying United from Houston over to Orlando, and about 2 weeks ago, so about a month before my trip, I looked online and I was actually able to upgrade myself to business class for about $175 total round trip. So I was able to upgrade all of my flights, did not pay the first class, business class pricing, and I get that ease and that comfort. Now with that comes the priority tag on my luggage, which means my luggage will make sure that it is on the plane and off the plane. That is a peace of mind to me because I know my luggage is less likely to get left behind. The other thing about that is it reduces the likelihood of that creepy person sitting next to you. Now, anybody who's ever solo traveled, I hope you know when I'm talking about this. Every single time I've ended up solo traveling, I've always had that person that either like wants to talk to me, wants to start up a conversation, stares me down. I had one person on a flight once actually try to watch my movie on my iPad with me. I had my headphones in and they kept trying to like lean over and look at my screen till I took the captions off of it. Now, I find that whenever I have flown first or business on my own, that doesn't happen. So if the seat next to me does end up filling up, it's usually somebody who just wants to mind their own business. It's not that person that wants to like chat and hang out and make friends with you. I'm one of those people that when I travel by myself, I kind of get RBF on my face and I don't really want to talk to anybody and I don't want anyone to bother me. So doing that, and if you check usually like anywhere from 6 weeks to a month out, a lot of times airlines are trying to fill up all of their seats, so you can sometimes get a really good discount on upgrading your seat, whether it's economy to economy plus or economy plus to business or business to first or whatever your plane configuration has. Like I said, I was able to do it for about $175 total for the round trip. I had bought an economy plus ticket to begin with, so for me that was nowhere near the full cost of a first class ticket or business class. It all depends on what plane I'm taking. I don't know. I think it's a 737 I'll be taking over, so I think they call it first. I don't know. I'm not an aviation expert. I have no idea. The next thing that I did was when Greg and I go to Orlando and we go to Disney, we like hire using a car service. Only reason is because we are lazy and we are impatient. We don't want to wait for the Sunshine Flyer. Now, whenever you go, especially if you go to Disney by yourself, the Sunshine Flyer is a really cost-efficient, safe way to get to the parks because they have the deal with Disney and because they only go to Disney resorts. it's a pretty safe way to get there if you're by yourself. Again, you don't have to worry about an Uber or a Lyft, because I don't know about you guys, I'm a little weirded out by using one on my own. I'm always afraid they're going to try to kidnap me. Reality is they probably won't, but you always hear those horror stories. Now, because this is a solo trip for me, for the first day or two, I did get the car again, so I will get picked up by a driver. That driver will text me and Greg, because I have both of our numbers on our file, and so he will know when I'm getting picked up. But also, it's I get to go to my resort straight there, nonstop. It'll only take about a half an hour, and then they'll pick me up and take me back to the airport when it's time to meet up with the girls for the girls trip. Again, totally not a necessary thing. But if you do solo travel, I do suggest looking into the Sunshine Flyer for Disney. I want to say it's about $30 each way, or maybe $30 round trip. I don't remember off the top of my head, but look into it, because again, it has replaced Disney's Magical Express, so it is the safe option to get there. Next, I'm just doing all Disney transportation. I am not renting a car. I am not Ubering or Lyfting or doing anything like that. So I'm actually staying at 2 different resorts. Now, they're both kind of like bucket list dream resorts slash favorite resorts. And the reason is because I was able to use my annual pass holder discount for both of them, and I got really good deals. So the first one is I'm staying at Riviera for a night, so the 3rd through the 4th. I'm staying at the Tower Studio Room, which everything that I've heard has said, like, it's slightly uncomfortably tight for 2 people. But I figure for 1 person, it's going to be pretty comfortable. Then I will have the car back to the airport the next day, meet up with the girls. We're going to go and do our girls trip. And then whenever I am on my own the second time, I'm actually going to be staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Always have wanted to stay there. Super excited. I did not get a Savannah room. I just got a regular studio room. But again, for me, for 2 nights, that's not a big deal. I have done, when I did my past solo trip, I did all 4 parks and Disney Springs. Never had any issues, never had any concerns or anything like that. Now, one thing I will say is when I go solo, I do tend to pack a lot more than I normally would with Greg. I don't know why. I don't need it. It's kind of like that meme that you see where it's like I wear the same 5 outfits, but I'm going on vacation. Do I need 3 ball gowns or 4? I don't know. I don't know if it's I feel like I need more whenever I go by myself, or if I just don't have somebody who's like, do you really need that, questioning me. But my goal for this trip is to do my carry-on, my personal item, and a checked bag. And I'm hoping to only fill half of my checked bag, so the other half can have like souvenirs and stuff for whenever I come home. Now, Greg is not dropping me off or picking me up at the airport. What I did was I actually reserved parking spot, and they will take me from the parking area to the airport. So I did that. Again, it's one of those things where it's easy, it's convenient, it's safe because there's cameras everywhere, and it's just one of those super easy things. So that is kind of some of my biggest tips, tricks. I always try to get a window seat because it is easy when you're flying to look out the window and ignore somebody if you want to. Not really many other things. I will have a whole travel and pack with me video coming up. I'm going to have a what's in my Disney bag coming up, because since we're going in November, it is going to be a little bit different than it would be in the summertime. So that is everything special, unique, particular to traveling on my own. It really doesn't differ a whole lot from whenever I go with Greg. It's just there's a few extra little things that I try to make sure that I do. The other thing that I do, and this is more than just a solo travel secret, this is really more of like a travel secret. I have AirTags that I put into my suitcase, and then I track it on my phone. We did that whenever we were flying to our cruise in August, and Greg was laughing at me because I'm sitting there, we're in baggage claim, I'm on my phone, and I'm like, your bag is about to come out and mine's coming out in a couple minutes. And he's just like, how do you know this? Because I'm tracking my bags. So I plan to do that also, is to put the AirTag in my suitcase and track it. Another thing that you can do, this isn't a necessary thing. This isn't a solo travel tip. This is more just a travel tip in general. Anything you buy at Disney World, with a couple exceptions, Disney will ship for you. You just have to pay the shipping. So depending on how much I do buy, it might just get shipped home. So that is everything I can think of off the top of my head. I don't think that there's anything else. The other thing was, it was hard because I had to look back at like my 2016 trip, and which is the last time I traveled by myself, and I was kind of like, okay, do I have everything? But that is everything. If you have any questions or anything about solo travel, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. You can put them down below or shoot me an email. Don't forget to follow over on Instagram, because you're going to be seeing a whole lot of packing and travel stuff coming up. I am going to be doing a ton of travel videos, because again, it's a 12-day trip. I'm so excited to be going for this long. I'm gonna miss Greg and Muffin, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm really excited to do it. But yeah, so more videos coming from Boo Bash, especially with travel, and I will see you guys all in tomorrow's video. Stay spooky, everybody.